Take me through your average day here at the Academy.
And it also just feels cool to listen to ground control tell the Southwest airline to hold for the sling.
Okay. Boom. Can you use that little power?
Yeah.
That felt good.
We'll go to the hangar nearby and grab some chow and come back to Sling.
Hey guys, it's Matthew from Sling Pilot Academy. I'm super excited for this week's video. As you guys know, on the channel here, our goal is to show you as the audience what it's like to be at Sling, to be a student, to train and instruct here. Today, we're gonna show you guys what it's like to be a student specifically at our Long Beach location. We're gonna interview them, follow them around for the whole day, and ask them some questions so that you can get some real insider insight. Enjoy the video. What's your name and what are you working on right now?
My name is Joseph White and I'm working on my commercial pilot certificate.
Take me through your average day here at the Academy.
I show up here at Sling roughly around 7 or 8 a.m. for my morning ground class. Try to arrive a little bit early because I like to do a little bit of studying. Once class starts, that runs for about 2 hours. Once we finish ground, I either have a flight right after, and those flight lessons are average of 2 hours unless you're starting to do those longer cross-country flights. Or if there's a little bit of downtime in between classes, I might hop in a simulator or study until I can grab some lunch.
It actually turned out to be a really nice day. No, I know.
And we also have a simulator here that we get the opportunity to use for free.
So between the simulators and the plane, you end up with a total of 280 hours, 200 single engine, which will be mostly in the Sling trainers, 30 multi-engine, and then 50 in the advanced simulators. And like we were talking about, unlimited basic sim, so you can use that thing whenever you want to. So you're in your commercial. What have you been working on in your flights most recently?
Recently, I just finished my final phase check for commercial. So I am starting to get ready to get pushed towards a check ride. Right now, there's a lot of polishing happening on my maneuvers and my landings. So that is what I'm working on right now.
Amazing.
Engine gauge is in the green, engine gauge is alive. And we have 55. There it is.
Number 51 Bravo, you're number 3 for traffic ahead of you in the downwind runway 26 right.
72.
Number 3 in the traffic,
Little less rudder.
26 right, 5 on Bravo. 44, yeah.
So it looks like people looking at the practice area, there's people about another 1,000 feet above, like where we are. So it looks like these bases are probably actually above the bases already.
You said you're working on commercial. Do you have ground school every day, or how does it work once you get past instrument?
There's kind of a shorter ground school that you do with commercial. You've already learned a lot through private and instrument, and you're not expected to show up as often for those ground classes. I still find a lot of value in coming into the instrument ground classes that I already did. Some people go through them 3 times, 5 times, sitting in on the most important parts that were hard for them. Other than that, they'll show up here because this is kind of the right environment to be in the right headspace for studying. So even on a day where I might not have a ground class or even a flight, I'll still show up just to study and be around the people here.
And do you find that other people do the same, or is that kind of just you doing that?
Other people definitely do the same. I will see people sitting here from beginning to end of the day, practicing for their written knowledge exam, just going through Shepherd Air, taking those pauses in between the studying just to kind of socialize and connect with people, listen about each other's experiences on their flights. There are these long cross countries. Sometimes we're just not familiar with that airspace yet or those airports. Just hearing a little tidbit of, maybe when you approach this airport, come from this direction or try to maintain this altitude because you won't see there's kind of a hazardous obstacle in this area. That helps a lot, and you only pick that up from being around other pilots here.
When you're here, the community, how do you feel about that?
There's a huge community here. It was actually the reason I joined Sling. I had been looking at other flight schools and had inquired with some of my friends and also CFIs that were trying to apply here that had gone through other programs. And that caught my curiosity, you know, why aren't you pursuing your own flight school that you trained at? And I kept hearing the same answer, that they weren't happy with the culture, the team at their flight schools.
We definitely want community to be a big part of, you know, the day-to-day life here.
Yeah.
Safety, efficiency, community, those are our pillars.
The three
it's
pillars.
one of the most important things. And unfortunately, some schools really don't push for that.
I was trying to move away from with my other flight schools, kind of more designed for coming, grabbing your flight book, leaving, and then once you're done with your flight, you kind of get out. There's no real space to study or space to socialize with other people.
We've touched on it a little bit, but what do you enjoy about this location?
We operate right next to Southwest Airlines, Hawaiian Airlines, these commercial airliners that, you know, just being in the same environment as them demands professionalism and high standards of training. And it also just feels cool to listen to ground control tell the Southwest airline to hold for the sling. That's always a nice feeling. And I'm sure there's a mutual respect between all of us sharing the same space. On top of getting to operate at this wonderful facility, we also have the amazing standardized fleet of slings that is just a huge upgrade from what I came from. I flew Cessnas that were older than my dad, the kind of Cessnas where on takeoff the air vent might just pop out and shoot across the cockpit. With the steam gauges, you kind of feel a sense of, you know, oh, I'm doing it the old school way, like I'm learning it how it's meant to be learned. And then when you do get a taste of the glass cockpit, you realize not only is it easier and more efficient in the end, but it's way more complex in the beginning. So when we're supposed to be moving on to aircraft like the airliners that are all glass cockpit, if we don't come in with that training, it's going to take us, you know, compared to the next guy, it take us so much more time and put us at a disadvantage if we're not familiar with those systems.
Exactly. That's exactly why we wanted to use these planes, is not only are they really efficient, but they also have this new technology.
Boom. Feels a lot smoother, right? That's why you want to try and make sure we maintain that coordination, right?
Speaking of, you know, steam gauges and newer avionics, how has your transition been, seeing as you did start on steam gauges?
It has been pretty seamless. When I was here for that first month, I feel like I was really well integrated to the glass cockpit scene. Just from the CFIs, taking the time to really have, you know, a dedicated systems portion of the class, recommending the applications that we need to get familiar with some of these things. I had a taste of some systems, kind of like the Garmin 650 at my other schools, where the instructors kind of glossed over it and told you, yeah, don't worry about it. Just make sure you're not in this plane when you actually go do your check ride. And that's not a good feeling. Like, you want to be proficient in the planes that you're using. Especially, you know, we do solo flights occasionally. You want to know everything about your system. And I don't feel like there's any stone that was left unturned. Here, you're made to be comfortable with every plane because they're all the same.
Exactly, and you have to be. Everything is, you know, advanced avionics, so you got to know for the check ride. There's no getting out of it.
Yeah.
How has the training specifically been for you so far?
The flight training has been pretty thorough. I do 5 days of flight training.
Yep, as we get slower, what we're going to do is add a little bit of right rudder, right? Because we're slow, a lot of P factor and torque. Oh, beautiful. Looking outside, looking outside. At a reference point. Boop. And go ahead and recover.
And recover.
Let's bring that nose slightly down. Perfect.
How does your training now compare to how it was when you were flying once or twice a week and, you know, waiting time in between?
I knew I needed to make a change and that I needed to get my training done quickly, cost efficiently, and in a way that left me proficient. With the slower style of training, you don't absorb the material as fast, and just without being in that environment, it sets you back. So coming to Sling, where you're around other students, talking about the same things, sharing in the same struggles, laughing at your same struggles, because honestly, everybody needs help with flight training. There's no person that gets it all done by themselves. We all have to lean on each other. Being able to kind of set aside that ego, be able to ask for help, it's a really fulfilling feeling here at Sling. The flight instructors, I think, share in that feeling. Oftentimes, I will be in a ground class and a flight instructor will just sit in. They'll ask questions if something's being left out, or they'll kind of just chime in and participate, and that's a really good feeling. It's a growth mindset. You don't just stop once you become a CFI. You don't just stop when you become a commercial pilot. Learning is something you're going to continue to do, and training for the rest of your career. Yeah,
definitely.
The people here are amazing. It's great to be around people that are both supportive and passionate about what they do. Our operations supervisor, Esther, she does an amazing job of connecting with the students, and you'll find her on any given day walking around, checking in with people, seeing what they need. This is a place that you can actually have input and make it a better school for you and also for the students around you.
You're not spending 100% of your time here. What do you do in your free time outside of Sling?
I had a full-time job prior to coming to Sling. I basically backtracked that back to part-time. So on the weekends, I still have time to work. I do most of my studying while I'm here at the facility at school. And at home, I have a puppy that I'm raising that takes up a lot of my time. I'm also to the movies, so when there is time to get outside of the house, those are my typical hobbies, my go-tos.
Do you ever do anything with any of the community from Sling outside of here?
Even when we come to the facility here, we have gotten opportunities with Sling to go to programs such as Talk with Air Traffic Control, where we get to actually meet with the people in our tower and ask them questions, apologize for the mistakes we've been making. We grab lunch occasionally when we're not bringing our own lunch to school, so we'll go to the hangar nearby and grab some chow and come back to Sling. And along with that, there's just a lot of mentorship time that we can do here. It's honestly a very relaxed environment where if you need help with something, you just ask. Get out a little bit of time in your day with somebody, and you can sit down for an hour or 2 hours and just log some study time together.
Have you used the mentor program very much? How much have you utilized that?
5 or 10 hours so far in the past couple months. On the opposite end, I've spent probably 10, 15 hours with other students, kind of resharing what I just learned here at the school.
How does that feel compared to getting the help?
Gratifying and fulfilling to be able to give it back.
Just kind of hold it off, a little bit right, ready.
All right.
Complete.
Do you have any advice for people that are out there thinking about flight training?
I think the biggest piece of advice I could give is go out, do your demo flight, see if it's something you truly want to pursue, and once you do know that, make the investment in yourself.
Thank you so much.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
And thanks for giving us a little insight into what it's like to be a student here.
Cool, thanks for following me around.
Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed the video, and if you're looking to get started soon, we just got some exciting new options for finance. Click the link in the description to find out more details. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps the channel, and we really appreciate it.